Welcome back to another lesson with me, Mr. B. Today, we're going to learn how to incorporate one of the three appeals, logos, ethos, or pathos, into your body paragraph. For this essay, you'll want to aspire to incorporate at least one appeal into your body paragraphs. So how do you incorporate logos, ethos, or pathos? This is actually a very subtle and passive process, so it's not so obvious at first. As I mentioned in a previous lesson, you can incorporate this in a topic or concluding sentence. You can also incorporate one of the appeals into the quotes that you're choosing. So your examples show how a character is making an emotional appeal through pathos. Or you can also include it in your explanation of your evidence via the analysis or commentary that you include. So for this lesson, we're going to specifically look at the topic sentence and analysis for examples of incorporating logos, ethos, or pathos. So for the topic sentence, Star's family is a controlling factor in her voice. You can combine it with the points that you've made. Let's use logos. So prompt number 3, Star trying to find her voice. Star's family is a controlling factor in the power of her voice, so the adults in her life presume Star making a statement will suffice in getting justice for Khalil. Now let's try prompt number 2 with logos. Microaggressions have put a strain on Star's relationships, making it difficult for Star to accept herself. Both of these topic sentences are using logic to persuade the reader. Logic being if A, then B. So in this case, if Star's family is A, then they presume that her making a statement will get justice for Khalil. Or in the case of prompt number 2, if microaggressions have put a strain on Star's relationships, then it makes it difficult for Star to accept herself. Simply put, if A, then B. And this ties back to the idea in the thesis that would be about, does Star's voice matter? Now let's look at ethos with prompt number 3. Star's family is a primary factor in the power of her voice. Uncle Carlos and her mother Lisa are the driving forces in whether or not Star should make a statement. Now how about pathos with prompt number 2? At Williamson and in Garden Heights, oppressive institutions cause Star to relive her traumas. Ethos usually relies on other credible sources in argument writing. But in this case, you can find credible evidence to prove that Carlos and Lisa are the ones pressing Star in a way that isn't wholly justice for Khalil or agency in her voice. And for prompt number 2, with pathos, we can follow this topic sentence with evidence that shows that Star struggles to convince or to get your reader to empathize with Star, since pathos is an emotional appeal. You might use evidence like bringing up Natasha, or bringing up Khalil, or just in the same way that the story has Star crying every time she experiences her traumas. And she also does get tired of using that as a form of appeal to get out of any sticky situation. Star herself also uses an emotional appeal to convince Uncle Carlos to pick her up when she says that her period cramps are really getting to her, even though that day they weren't, and she just needed to get out of school because of what happened between her and Haley. So how about in your analysis? In the same way you would analyze a piece of evidence, here you are just further pushing the agenda to support your essay prompt through one of the appeals. So let's look at prompt number 3 with logos and see how we incorporate logos into the analysis as well. So Star's family is a controlling factor in the power of her voice. So the adults in her life presume Star making a statement will suffice in getting justice for Khalil. Lisa and Maverick are not convinced that Star needs to make a statement on Khalil's death when Uncle Carlos advises she speaks with the detectives, Uncle Carlos sighs. Lisa, the sooner she talks to the detectives, the better. It will be a simple process. All she has to do is answer some questions. That's it. This shows that Carlos is trying to reason with Lisa and Maverick because he thinks this will draw Khalil's case to a close. He is trying to persuade them to think that as long as Star makes a statement, everything will be done and over with. The logic and reasoning is pointing out that Uncle Carlos is trying to reason with Star's parents. But logically, he thinks that Khalil's case will come to a close so long that Star provides a statement, so everything will be done and over with. Body paragraphs can be very confusing, with all these moving parts. I hope the formula that my teachers taught me will help you, and that this overview gives you a better understanding of how to structure your evidence to support your thesis. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.